Hey everyone, it's Moonkin FEW here, and welcome to yet another episode of the RCT3 Coaster Challenge. We're up to episode number 44, so we're quite on our way to finishing this. In this episode, we have another coaster type that I've never ever built before, and that is the robotic arm coaster. And I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the most difficult coasters I've built in terms of the coaster itself. So not the theming, not the layout, it's just that I have no experience whatsoever with this roller coaster. And it turns out it's quite tricky to make something like this because it doesn't have any inversions, and because the coaster train with the robotic arm is so big, very quickly you're able to not build something because it's gonna hit some other part of the track. So in terms of the roller coaster, I've stuck to a very simple layout, and I'm gonna do, that's of course the strength of this roller coaster. I'm gonna let the robotic arm kind of take care of the inversions and everything. And just like the multi-dimensional roller coaster, it was quite difficult for me to really plan these twists and these going up and back and forth. I just had very little experience with this, so it was not easy to design this and try and make it smooth, so to say. But I had a few ideas. So yeah, like this section right here where you go down and you face the track. And in this straight section, I wanted to make kind of like an inline twist, if you will. And yeah, it takes a lot of work to kind of, mess around with it because of course I don't want this arm to go too fast. I don't want it to go too slow. So you can see me here kind of adjusting everything to make sure that it's going to be, at least this part is going to be like a kind of a smooth, consistent inline twist, if you will. But this roller coaster type is extremely weird. I don't think, again, I don't know if this ever existed, maybe as a prototype, but yeah. So here I figure out, oh, okay, this is wrong as well. So there's going to be a lot of like testing for this. I'm like, okay, this looks okay. Okay, nope, that's wrong. This twist got to be the other way around. So, this one really took a good amount of time to get right. And you can look at the track. It's very simple. It's not like I built like this really long and extensive ride, but yeah, it's not easy. Again, it's also because I have literally zero experience with this one. So, but now it's kind of done. The layout is done. The way the robot arm moves for now is done as well, so we can focus on some custom supports. I'm gonna try and stick to a basic design for this one, so I'm gonna use a red track with white supports, and I'm not gonna use any particular theming. I thought about using the futuristic theming because this is quite a futuristic looking roller coaster, but I really don't like the futuristic theming in RCT3, and it's because many of the pieces really don't line up that well. It's weird. It's a really funky, weird, odd set to work with. So I just opted for a basic design, and pretty much the main focus would be just the ride experience with that robot arm that kind of throws you around and turns you upside down and back and forth. So I hope the POV will kind of be a good experience, if you will, because I'm really not sure if this is going to turn out to be smooth. Again, I've never ever built one of these, so yeah, well, you'll have to just bear with me. So yeah, that's pretty much the basic layout done. I'm just going to add, of course, a bit of a gathering area there with a little bit of foliage in between. I'm going to use Beastie's path mods to again make some nice curved paths. And yeah, I think I'll add some foliage around the track, of course, to fill up the bit of a dead space, if you will. Got some flowers there, and of course we're going to build a station. Now with the station, again, I had to improvise a bit because the robot arm train cart, whatever you want to call it, is very big and very tall. So I had to adjust a few things, and this still is a bit of a staple of mine, the station design, but you'll see that I have to adjust a little bit because I'm putting those slate slabs a little bit higher, and of course I'm putting this top section of this roof a little bit higher. I think it actually looks quite nice. Looks like a kind of like a classic train station, if you will. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but I kind of like it. So let's add the catwalk, of course. That's a very, it's a go-to for both the chain lift and the final brake run. And I'm also going to add some canvas tents to the queue line. Again, a bit of a staple of mine to provide the guests with some shade. And I'm going to, of course, go over the pathing with Beastie's path mods for the final pieces. Give it a nice catchy name, save it, and for now I'm just gonna add once again some foliage just to make sure that you're not looking at a complete and total field of just plain grass, if you will. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the robotic arm coaster. It's a really weird and awkward design. I don't think I would ever use it in the park because it's also, one cart is really big and it sits four people. So the throughput, like, when it comes to like how much money you can make is gonna be very little. There's very few guests that can ride this. I mean, I would much rather settle for, an extended coaster with like, the trains with four passengers per cart or something like that. But anyway, it is a quite unique experience. So let's go ahead and see what that experience is like. Let's see if this is actually going to make sense. So here we go. You can see how high up we are. And geez, that's a slow chain lift. That reminds me of some old school Arrow loopers, Luckily the height isn't very big, so. Okay, so the first feature is that we turn left, so you're kind of looking towards the edge of the map, if you will. We go down and we kind of go up, so almost like vertical, into like this kind of twist. That's a bit janky, jerky. Thrown back. That's actually kind of cool, You're almost upside down. Close to the ground. And in our twist, it's okay, but that's interesting. For whatever reason, if you're building the multi-dimensional coaster, if you gradually add degrees, it's actually quite smooth. But for here, you can see it rotates, it stops, rotates, it stops. It's very janky. So yeah, this wouldn't be very comfortable to ride, to be honest with you. But you know what? Again, this whole challenge is about using coaster types that I've never done before, and it's a nice challenge. Okay, like I got this crazy, concept or like prototype, whatever coaster. How can I make this work? So yeah, it was a very odd but enjoyable episode. Hope you guys like this design. And as always, I want to thank you for watching this episode of the Coaster Challenge, and have yourself a wonderful day.